Hey there, in today's training, we're going to talk about the 20K per month side door. And what most sales professionals and agency owners don't understand and realize is that you're sitting on an absolute gold mine worth anywhere from $20,000 to $50,000 a month to you in income. And I'm going to prove it. In fact, I was just talking to one of our clients yesterday who is sitting on a gold mine of about twice that, 2 to 3 times that, with just a couple of key relationships. So if you please don't ignore this and think you got to start from scratch. That is absolutely a falsehood, and it'll keep you kind of trapped in the box that you're in now. And again, we just helped an account executive leverage this system into some pretty significant, significant monthly recurring income. So in the next 15 minutes, I'm going to show you the consultant's arbitrage model that will help you to unlock this. And that's quietly making sales reps and agency owners 6 figures of recurring income in their spare time on the side. Okay. So let's jump into this. And the first thing that we're going to talk about here, number uno, is what we call the clean slate delusion, right? So you come in, you've got a whiteboard, so to speak, with all this stuff. And many people think that they can't get started because the first thing they need to do is clean the slate. That is false. That will really keep you kind of mired down and really restrained from accelerating your utilization of this type of a system and framework. It's killing you because you believe successful monthly recurring income requires building authority from zero, building from the ground up, starting from scratch and building up. And how it shows up is you're constantly consuming content about, branding instead of monetizing the authority that you already have. The fix is your hidden authority assets. And let's talk about this for a second. So what I want you to do, and I encourage you to do this right now, is go ahead, grab a pen, paper, or a digital, whatever floats your boat. And I want you to do a couple things here. Number one, I want you to make a list of every business owner or decision maker that you've helped in the last 2 years. Last 2 years, 24 months. Okay? Jot that down. Number two, oh, Paul, I don't want to tap. Listen, slow down, stay with me. Don't get all shiny object, get all scattered. Okay? Stay focused, stay with me. Listen to the argument first before you render your verdict, please. Number two, identify the business owners that you know. Number three, identify the people that you know who know the business owners, small, medium-sized business, SMBs. Okay, so take a couple minutes here, do this. You should have a list that's bigger than you initially thought. Now, I want you to think through, especially this category here. Okay, and perhaps this category, this one, not so much yet. But what I want you to do is I want you to think through the biggest operational headaches that you recall these people having that they mentioned in passing or that you've talked about or that you're aware of for their particular business industry. The top three. And then I want you to simply match those with AI or automation that you are aware of or relatively aware of that could potentially help them. Okay. So what we're doing here, again, stay with me. This could be a lot of money to you. You spend a lot of money to a lot of people. Because here's the reality. There's people that you already have relationship with, already have credibility with, that are spending money and going to spend money on AI. Why not with you? I suspect you'll take better care of them than some rando. I suspect you'll have a more outcome orientation than somebody selling them a commoditized chatbot. I suspect your heart is to serve them more so than some random person leveraging offshore talent or some short-term AI wired together that is going to break tomorrow because the APIs change. And so here's the key, and I want you to understand this. This is so important. Okay, point number 2. All right, and this, I think, this set me free, my friends, many years ago. If you had the cure for cancer and you could demonstrate it, how much credibility would you, the person, need to have? If you were a caveman back in the caveman days, or a cave dudette, and you had the ability to generate fire and the other cave peoples didn't, how much credibility would you, the individual caveman, need to have? Look, fire, right? If you were talking to a buddy who is riding a horse and your other friend drove up in a Model T Ford, how much credibility would you, the individual, need to have? Paul, I got it. Stop using stupid examples of bygone era. Okay, here's the point. AI is so revolutionary and new. It's a term we're familiar with, but the business owners don't understand the depth of the capacity. Some business owners think AI is a formula in a Google sheet. So what that means is, for the first time in history, we can push the credibility from the person to the thing. And in the same way that the caveman, the friend who brought up the Model T, or the person who had the cure for cancer, the individual looking for that capacity, fire, motion, health, couldn't care less about the person that pointed out the capacity. Therefore, this whole idea that you've got to build credibility from the ground up is absolutely faulty and false. We get people coming all the time that are like, oh, I need to have a website. I'm like, no, you don't. We just started a new guy yesterday who's generating leads for $2.23. He's getting people reaching out to him to hear about AI for $2.23 freaking cents. Honest to God, I've never seen it that low before. Now, obviously, it's a function of how the ingredients to produce that cake, right, to bake the cake. But the point is, the market is so dry right now and yearning and desiring clarity on this, that the thing can become the credibility. And especially the way we do it, where we make the thing front and center. So all we do is we got the business owner here, right? And he's like, or she's like, what? And then we got the thing here. And then all we do is we just come alongside of the business owner and we're like, look at the thing, my friend. Take your eyes over to the thing. And then we look at the thing together, and the thing is the hero, and the thing does the selling. There's no website needed. There's no credibility needed other than the thing and the performance of the thing. So the other mistake here is what we call the vendor trap. And oh my goodness gracious, so many folks are doing this right now. It's sad. I just giggle all the way to the bank, to be honest with you, but it's the vendor trap. And what does that look like? Well, that shows up as selling chatbots, selling siloed, one-off capacity. It's like going and selling people tires instead of transportation and vehicles. It's just that foolish. And that's why we're positioned as profit consultants. Profit consultants, because the profit consultant has a toolbox that has multiple things in it, and then they can pull out a hammer. I don't know how to draw a hammer. They can pull out a screwdriver, right? They can pull out, I don't know, a saw, right? That's horrible, horrible imagery here. I'm embarrassed. That looks like a pickaxe, but you get the idea. And so the profit consultant comes in and looks at the financial numbers and then the leaking buckets in the enterprise and matches the right tool to the right thing. So what's cool is when the tools change tomorrow, we're in business. When you become oriented and become just a vendor in the eyes of the SMB, then you're interchangeable. And even if you're acquiring clients, you're churning clients just as fast because someone smarter who positions themselves as a true consultant is just going to take those clients left and right, because that's what the business owners want. They want a consultant. They want a partner. They want somebody that will come alongside of them long term as the market changes and work with them to help them stay in front of the capacities and the changes. And so when you do that right, you build recurring revenue that's bulletproof. So the vendor trap's a big mistake. And then the third mistake is the recurring, the high ticket trap. Okay. So what does that look like? That looks like, well, you feel like you got to sell these massive tickets, trying to land $100,000 deals instead of simple 10K recurrings. And so when you approach a business, each business looks different, but the DNA, the operating system, flows through the business in similar patterns. And so what you want to do is, if there's 20 things that you can help a business with, you don't want to start with 20 things. First of all, that's a lot for them to handle. Number two, it becomes a customized deployment, which is a lot for you and the dev team to handle. And number three, it slows down your enrollment process because each conversation is now something different. What's much better is to take a business, pardon me, and take a look at the most fundamental foundational elements that drive yield and start there. Start there. And in the same way that when Jeff Bezos was starting Amazon, he said, I don't think anybody's ever going to want shorter or longer shipping times. I don't think anybody's going to want to ever desire product to get there slower. I don't think anybody's ever going to want to pay more for a product. So he doubled down on speed of shipping, right? They supposedly own the last mile, and cheapness of product. So in the same way, we can double down on the fundamentals. See, the fundamentals are what drive the results, not the sexy thing. The sexy thing is up here, right? There's a little sexy thing. There's a little sexy thing. Oh, baby, there's a little sexy thing. But you don't start with the sexy, because if you don't have the foundation, then when you deploy the sexy, you're just leaking profit. Oh, let's do that sexy thing. Drip, 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 right? And all that costs the business owner money. So what's much better is to, instead of putzing around with all that stuff, focus in right here on the foundation, build them a bulletproof platform, which is the same for every business, right? What business is ever going to say, I want slower speed to lead? I want to get back to prospects in less time. I want to do worse follow-up. I think we should follow up less. You know what? I think we should have more no-shows. You know what? I think we should answer less calls. Answering calls ain't that big of a deal. Think about it. So now what you can do is you can create a productized offer that is the same for every business. Start in at a reasonable cost for the business, 5 to 10K setup, 1 to 5K monthly recurring. And you can build yourself a nice income that's very consistent, very stable. And then what happens is this business owner is paying out 5 to 10K and 1 to 5K, but they're getting in a multiple of that, right? So if an annual contract, including the setup fee, is, let's say it's 5K plus 12K, right? 1,000 a month times 12, what's that? 17K. It's expected that that business can yield 170K in return. So does it cost them any money done right? No. And now what you do is you have house money that you can go back here and you can take this 70K that you've helped them to capture. And now you can use that and you can play with upgrading to the sexy things, and you can charge another 5 to 10 to 20 to 50K set up, because there, of course, there's going to be setup, new capacity, new setup. Even if it's not very much setup on the dev side, it doesn't matter. They're not necessarily paying you for the technology. They're paying you for the thinking behind the technology. They're paying you for the recipe. All chocolate chip cookies fundamentally have the same ingredients, but it's the preparation, it's the order, it's the quality of the ingredients, right? The recipe. The recipe produces the result. So now you can collect another chunk and then plus monthly recurring. So you don't want to start with the big ticket trap. It's going to kill you. It's going to slow down your sales process. And if you have a slow sales process, then you have a frustrated sales team. Right now, maybe you're doing it, but eventually you're going to want to hire somebody to get out of that part of the business. And so you got to think right. Now, if you're looking for some help with all this stuff, that's what we do. And we're really good at it. We help people, sales professionals, agency owners, business owners, corporate escapees, sick of the rat race, come in, and we help them with three things in particular. Number uno, we help you with appointments, right? If you had the ability to turn on appointments, let me show you something. All right, so this is one of our sales people's calendars. What's today's date? Today's the 26th. This is their schedule this week. This is one. We have multiple. This is their schedule last week. This is their schedule last week. This is their schedule this week. If you had the ability to turn that on demand, how much money could you make, right? So the key is being able to consistently get quality people to talk to. Number two, we help you with enrollment. Once you get the appointment, how do you convert the appointment into a client? We're masters at that. We're really good at that. We use a very simple two-step process. We let AI do the heavy lifting, and it's a seamless, very elegant system. It's not really even sales. That's why we call it enrollment. We call it rolling the ball down the hill. And then, obviously, you have to fulfill with excellence. We are masters of that as well. Why? Because we let the nerds and the devs do their thing, and we do our thing. And so we don't dilute anything down. So if you'd like to visit with us about that, we offer a free call. It's an initial 15-minute call where we'll share a little bit about what we're doing. We get to know you a little bit. And if it makes sense, then you'll talk to one of our program directors. Our program obviously is a paid program. You get what you pay for. The first call is free. Okay. So let's not get on the call and be like, I thought it was free. You're a moron. You get what you pay for. The first call is free. The first call is free. The way the payment works and the costs are very simple. It's like a college tuition. You can pay in full or you can finance. If you finance, then you're looking at a monthly payment for the AI, the software, the marketing, the tech support, the whole banana for about $400 a month. So your first client obviously pays for the entire thing. It's a self-liquidating, self-fulfilling business that produces the greatest ROI for any asset on planet Earth, in my humble but accurate opinion. So that's kind of how we do it. And it's amazing. It's really incredible. We got a guy who's getting ready to close a deal with a 1,000-unit franchise. We have another client, Nathaniel, who's getting ready to close a deal with a tree cleaning company that does massive volume. I've got another client who just told me yesterday that they're getting ready to sign up a 4-unit or 4-store retail store. And these guys, they're generating, this is just a very small sample size, but they're a small part of our, client base, but they're generating appointments. The average cost of an appointment right now is 10, 20, $30, something like that. We're having 20% of leads convert to appointments right out of the funnel. without any AI amplifying it. Our targets, just so you know, 10% we want the leads to convert to appointments, and then 10% additional we want the AI. We got to adjust that because right now our system is outperforming our KPIs. So it's a window of time right now, y'all, that is just extraordinary. So I encourage you, if this is of interest, book a call. Let's talk. All right. God bless. Have a good day.